Got some in there, but plenty of crankbaits. These down here, see, I got all these full. I've got a dozen boxes, but I've got this one because it's got a little of everything in it.
When it comes to fishing, Earl Pemberton takes a matter-of-fact approach.
You don't always catch fish. That's why they call it fishing. Sometimes you catch them, sometimes you don't. If I don't, I just take it with a grain of salt. I just say, well, didn't catch many, but I'll get them next time.
Earl's been fishing Kentucky Lake since 1946. At first, he fished mostly from the bank. But then, Earl bought a boat.
They was building these aluminum boats over across the river. I went over there and ordered one, and they got it ready by the time the weekend is over. And got me a small one. Yeah, he's a little dinky.
Today, Earl is still fishing from that boat, known around these parts as the Old Number One, a nod to its unique registration number.
Mine is TN number 1 and A. There's a little girl who worked at the post office, and I went out one day at lunchtime, and she said she had something for me, and I said, well, good, what's that? And she said, I got the number 1 boat registration. That was the first one in the state of Tennessee. Old boat's been over a lot of water.
So has Earl.
I growed up working hard on the farm. I plowed 2 mules to a turning plow when I was 12 years old. I couldn't even pull the plow around. I'd have to stop them just before I got to the end of the fur. And when they turned and went around, man, I'd have to fly around to stay between them handles.
Farm life was hard, but nothing like Army life. Earl served in the Pacific during World War II.
There's 8,000 of us on the ship, and there's a little old Costa Rica Victory ship. And we hit a mine and blowed one of the boilers out and had to come back to Pearl Harbor to get that repaired. And it was a terrible ordeal when we was on that rough water, and it's terrible.
When the war ended, Earl was happy to come home.
Oh, Lord, yeah, I was glad to get home. I was glad to get anywhere, especially home. It makes you appreciate the good old USA. Yes, sir. There's not another country nowhere like the USA. I'll let him get out there. Uh-oh, he spit it out. Nice bass.
Of course, one of the best parts of being back was getting to fish.
It's good medicine. Puts you in a better frame of mind. You can be all disturbed and so forth. You're out there fishing, you forget all of that stuff. I'd fish then every chance I got it. Back in those days, you didn't have much scales to weigh, but I've had some 9-pound fish, 8, 7s, and of course, not as many as you'd always like to catch, but I've had quite a few good fish.
While he's still fishing, Earl doesn't get around like he used to. In 1984, a stroke forced him to retire.
I had to learn walk, talk, and everything else again, and then I had a cancer operation back in '03, and they went in and took the cancer off of my liver and pancreas. It's supposed to give me another year or 2, and it's been over 10 years now. So I beat the odds again and still kicking.
He's amazing. He's like an Energizer bunny, you know. He just, every time you think he's going to go down, he gets up and goes again. He's got a lot of faith in God. I think that's why he's still here.
Earl says his active lifestyle helps keep him going. He still runs this old backhoe and can build just about anything.
This 4-wheeler here belongs to a friend of mine. He bought it, and it didn't have one of those old racks just like it comes on them, you know, and I built the rest of the rack up on it, and that front one I built a front rack on it.
He can take a piece of junk and make something usable out of it.
Earl is a fighter, so when someone bought the land around the local boat ramp,
got to wanting to charge us $1,300 to put in, and didn't nobody would really go for that much.
Earl bought the property next to it, so the TWRA could build a new boat ramp that everyone can use, free of charge.
And that made me a lot of friends right there. He's a little bitty fella. I couldn't hardly believe I had a fish. They're better than catching nothing. I like to catch any size, but preferably bigger the better.
These days, the big fish don't come around quite so often. But Earl doesn't mind. He's happy just being out here.
It's still good to be out on the water. So many birds coming in. There's a lot of wildlife around this lake, and just about always some eagles around. They had to move up here and build them a new nest. And they did because the hoot owls run them off.
The hoot owls might have run off the eagles, but not Earl. He's planning to stay around for a while. Him and the old number one, doing what they do best.
When you get older, you have to lean with the punches. But I still like to fish. I'll fish as long as I'm able to get out there.
I'm Ken Tucker on the wild side.